How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Plus Extra catalog for the month of February has been revealed. I have yet to look through the entire catalog, but the promotional image I'm looking at, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. I mean, some people, it's gonna be hard to satisfy them, but I'm liking the games I'm seeing, so let's break it all down. All of these will be available February the 20th. We haven't even talked about it recently, but the PlayStation Plus Essential titles are available right now as well. You've got Foam Stars, Roller Drum, so go check those out. And then if you are a Plus Extra subscriber, these will be available February the 20th. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to ask you guys, please like this video and do leave a comment with your thoughts. It really does help out the channel a lot, and it is much appreciated. Right off the top, you have Need for Speed Unbound. I don't recall if they've added this to EA Access yet. I feel like they have, but Need for Speed Unbound was a pretty good game. It came out the same day as Callisto Protocol and Marvel's Midnight Suns, and you want to know the funny thing about that day? Like, all of those games were, like, commercial. Like, they didn't do that great commercially. I know with Marvel's Midnight Suns and Callisto Protocol especially, those games were deemed commercial flops, I guess you could say. I mean, flop is a strong word, but Callisto Protocol certainly was a commercial flop. Need for Speed Unbound, I don't know exactly, but I can't imagine it did well. All three of those games were priced at $70 on next-gen consoles as well, and I don't feel like any of those games should have been $70. And nonetheless, Need for Speed Unbound had a pretty cool art style and a different presentation style. Ended up being pretty decent, certainly not $70 worth, but as a part of a subscription service, hey, go check it out if you are into arcade racers. Definitely something to have some fun with a little bit there. Next up, we have the Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition, a single-player sci-fi RPG. This is coming from Obsidian, of course, the developers behind Pillars of Eternity and Fallout New Vegas. We do know that a sequel is in development, and given everything going on with Xbox and PlayStation, and Xbox games coming to PlayStation, looks like that sequel, hey, might be coming to PlayStation 5. How about that? And one of the first Xbox titles that's coming to PlayStation is rumored to be Pentiment. That's a game that doesn't get a lot of buzz, but received really well. Nonetheless, Outer Worlds was a pretty solid RPG. It's very much on the shorter side compared to some of these massive RPGs we get recently, but it's still a worthwhile game to go through. This also includes the DLC, so worthwhile to check it out from that standpoint. I haven't tried it in terms of the PlayStation 5 version of the game, but yeah, you can play it on PS5, upgraded on there. Next up, Tales of Arise is getting added to Plus Extra. I love Tales of Arise. I thought it was a great game. Did I think the cast of characters was as strong as some of the other Tales of games? No, I didn't find the main character, Alphen, as compelling as, let's say, a Luke from Tales of Abyss or even a Yuri from Tales of Vesperia, but you know, it was a fine cast. The story was really good. Visuals are great. A step up from the other Tales of games. Soundtrack is great. And the battle system is your fast-paced action Tales of gameplay. Although some of the Tales of games are a little bit slower. This one, I felt like sped it up a little bit. And visually, again, looks great. Has a good bit of content. There is a DLC, an expansion, so to speak, in Beyond the Dawn that takes place after the main story. That's something you'll want to play after you complete Tales of Arise. So yeah, definitely check out Tales of Arise if you haven't. It's a good starting point for the Tales of franchise as well if you've never played any of the other games, so certainly do give it a look. Good game there. Definitely a solid addition. Next up, we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They're rolling in the Ubisoft Classics title. Some of them come in, some of them go out. I believe Watch Dogs recently got pulled. AC Valhalla is your, you know, standard newer style Assassin's Creed fare. You guys know how I feel about the newer Assassin's Creed games. They're not my cup of tea. Feel like they're a little bit too grindy, feel like they have too much content for their own good, and a lot of that content gets diluted. I know a lot of people love them, love the north of 80 hours of gameplay and so on and so forth that you're gonna get out of the game, but for me, they're not really my cup of tea compared to the other Assassin's Creed games. Have I enjoyed these games? Yeah, I found enjoyment out of them. I actually started another playthrough of Assassin's Creed Origins recently, but then I started that playthrough at a bad time when, like, literally all of these big games were coming out, and I kind of had to drop it for the time being. I do plan on going back to it, but just at some time later. I want to enjoy these Assassin's Creed games because Assassin's Creed was such a fundamental franchise for me growing up. Like, every year, Assassin's Creed was the game that I was like, no matter what else, AC is going to be a game that I enjoy. Is it going to be my game of the year? Not necessarily, but it'll be a game that I enjoy. And this year, we're rumored to get Assassin's Creed in Japan, and obviously I want to play that. So, you know, I'm trying to find myself a way to enjoy these games more. It's a little bit of a struggle for me, but for you guys, you might enjoy it a lot more. And I love the Viking thematics of Valhalla as well, so check it out. You might have more fun with it than me. LEGO Worlds is available as well, an open environment, procedurally generated worlds made entirely of LEGO bricks. Check that out. You've got another LEGO title in LEGO Jurassic World, so you can check that out. Then you have Rogue Book. You have Rogue Lords as well. You have Tales of Zestria getting added. Definitely not as good as Arise, and most people will agree that Tales of Zestria is the weakest game in the entire Tales of franchise, but it's still a decent game overall. If you're gonna get into the franchise, don't start with Zestria. Start with Arise or Vesperia. Those two are the ones that are really good, or even Berseria. Zestria is worth a playthrough, but that's literally after you've exhausted almost all of the other Tales of games, and really all of the other Tales of games that are playable on PS4 and PS5. I would play those over Zestria. You have Symphonia, you have Vesperia playable, Berseria, and Arise, of course. All of those I would recommend over Zestria. After you beat all those, then you can circle back and play Zestria as well. So all of those being added to Extra, and then we have the Plus Premium Classics. Hell yeah, we got Resistance Retribution. Let's go. Like, everybody just give me a high five right now. We finally got Resistance Retribution. This is a game that I loved on PSP back in March of 2009 when it initially came out. Done by Sony Bend Studio. This game was tremendous, and it came out in that era where the PSP was getting absolutely crapped on for having no games, and then you just got bangers like Resistance Retribution, and nobody gave it the light of day. I think IGN gave this game a 9 out of 10, and back in the day, like 2009, I'm like 13 years old, like I lived and died by IGN review score, so when I saw Resistance Retribution get a 9 out of 10, I was like, let's go! The game itself is great. I highly recommend you to check it out. It is a PSP game, and remember, back in the day, PSP shooters were such a struggle because you didn't have the dual analog sticks. They remedied that with the Vita, and look at how Killzone Mercenary turned out. That game was awesome, but Resistance Retribution did as good of a job as they could, and it's a fantastic game. This is, in my opinion, the best addition we've had to PlayStation Plus Premium. You can give an argument to Legend of Dragoon, I'll let you have that argument, but for my money, Resistance Retribution, and obviously, a lot of nostalgia tied there. Like, this is the era of gaming that I grew up when. I always talk about how much 2009 was important to me, and Resistance Retribution, Killzone 2, Uncharted 2, Demon's Souls, Ratchet, A Crack in Time, so on and so forth. Like, 2009 was so goated, and to me, in 2009, Resistance Retribution was a game that really did stood out. But definitely do check that out. Then we also got Tales of Symphonia and Tales of Vesperia, so I didn't even know this. These are two great additions, especially given that Symphonia goes for a pretty hefty price point on PlayStation and on every platform still, because the remastered version came out in, I want to say, February of 22 or February of 23. I think it was actually February of 23. But nonetheless, nice addition there. Good JRPG, not a crazy remaster. People love Symphonia even more than I do. I don't think it's like the best Tales of game, but it's a pretty darn good one. Just shows its age a little bit. Keep in mind, it was initially a GameCube game. And then you have Vesperia as well. Awesome, awesome game with quite possibly the strongest cast in the entire Tales of game. Like, I think Luke is the best main character out of any Tales of game when you look at his character arc and his trajectory, but Yuri's a fantastic main character as well, and the rest of the cast in Vesperia is really strong as well, but that's a great addition. A really great month for Plus Premium with Resistance, Symphonia, and Vesperia. I mean, I'm a sucker for JRPGs. You guys know how I feel about that, but I gotta say, this is a slam dunk for Premium. Extra is decent. Definitely a decent little month here. Not a lot of quantity in the Extra catalog, but quality is certainly there at the top level with Tales of Arise, Outer Worlds, and even NFS Unbound and AC Valhalla. Those are notable franchises. But I would say thumbs up overall if you're looking at it from the lens of Plus Extra and Premium. Overall, a pretty good month. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Obviously, if you're a JRPG fan, like the Tales of editions are big in my opinion. I think those are great. Outer Worlds is a big one. And then Resistance Retribution, man. Gotta give a lot of credit to that. Retribution is an awesome game that I strongly recommend. But that'll do it for me. Your thoughts down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.